Previous clip was the Orange IDP show. Now we have to look at the claims arriving at PSRS, the green machine. That is, we'll take a look at the claims that arrive in a SAML token from a partner. They arrive at engine number 1, where we can configure the acceptance rules engine. As said before, here we filter, for instance, the illegal values. You wouldn't trust your partner to come in with your domain admin name, would you? So allow only their legal email name, suffixes, etc. Next, we have to say go or no go. And then engine number 3. Each time we can query access stores, etc. At first glance, doing an AD query for a partner account may not make sense. Well, indeed, but there are cases in which you work with shadow accounts. For each user that was authenticated by a partner, there is an account with a random password. Nobody logs on locally. But incoming users will be mapped to this shadow account. That could be for any application that needs a local account, such as Outlook Web Access. Yes, indeed, this is how BPOS services in the cloud work. This was transformations in ADFS too. Actually, WIF can do transformations too. You can just pick and choose where you want to do it. The architecture allows everything. Let's take a look at the configuration of the green server now. Again, we're going to configure 3 claims engines. To be able to use them in the user interface, we'll first have to check if they are all there. Let's sort on this one, yes. And indeed, here is the telephone number for mobile as defined by a partner, and below there is the normal telephone number as defined by the partner, but our application wants to have a claim name, an attribute name, a claim name that is defined by ourselves. So we'll have to do a conversion before we forward it to the application. That's exactly what I'm going to show you. First, engine number 1, that is the incoming claim. Edit claim rule. This is the list of claims that come from our Orange partner, and each individually was enabled. We're just going to add a couple. So we do add rule, and then instead of querying from the AD, we are going to transform an incoming claim. And then we're going to say the outgoing type is the res mobile, and the incoming type is going to be the par mobile, and the name we're going to use is convert mobile. Finish, and then we get a warning. Don't worry about this warning. In this case, it doesn't really matter, because if they send us a wrong telephone number, hey, who cares? We just can't call them. But if this would be the name of the administrator, then we would want to say no to this. But okay, for mobile, that's fine. So that was convert mobile. Now we're going to add another claim, and that is pass through. The previous was transform, and now we're just going to pass through, because for a regular telephone, we are willing to work with theirs. Specify the claim type. Par, where is it? Par telephone. Here we are. Again, yeah, I want to let them send all kind of telephone numbers. So that was claims engine number 1. Now the relying party is going to be our WIF demo. And there we're going to say edit claims rule. First, engine number 2, the one in the middle. If we do edit rule, we'll get to see the rule. Oh, I can show you by now the claims language. This is an unconditional issue, claim of type permit, and it gives it a value true. The value is not relevant, as I said before. So this is an unconditional yes, go, go, go. Right, cancel, because we didn't change anything. And now we are going to take a look at the issuers transform rules. That's claims engine number 3. Now there, I took a shortcut, which is fine for the proof of concept environment, but not for production. What I did here, I used the claims language. I'm going to show you that. So this is a little program that I wrote. And this little program says if there's any claim, and we are going to call it claim C, for which the type is not an empty string and the issuer is not the local Active Directory, then issue the claim. What this effectively does is pass everything blindly. So apart from the content that might be wrong, also the claim name, so the sort of claims that are sent, will be passed blindly. That's not something for production. But for tests, demo, training, etc., it's very nice. It shows you the power of the claim language. And it also makes life a little bit easier. If you make some typo, at least you will see the claim. Maybe you will not detect the typo, but you will see the claim, which is much nicer. So we're not going to add the telephone numbers here because everything is already passed. We have now configured claims engine number 1, 2, and 3 on the IDP and claims number 1, 2, and 3 on the relying party, but let me show you one more thing on the relying party, and that is I have defined a local query too. And what I do here is I query the local directory and send in some claims. Even if you do not have normal local users that will go to your application, this is a good thing to do because now you can test. And then you can test with all kind of contents in your application independent of the users that come from your identity provider. This is a nice thing to do. Remember, you'll probably always have local accounts defined just for testing, even in production. You may want to limit their rights. They may not transfer 500 million to their own bank account, but for testing, you will probably want to have this even in production. Okay, let's take a look at the demo. So we've defined all the claims. Let's see if they actually work. Let's go to the green with demo 1, but let's log on to the partner domain. Fill in our infamous user. Sign on and behold, a partner non-converted telephone number and a PSRS mobile number. Let's take a look at the values because they should be here on the right. Yep, there are some numbers. So this was a demonstration of the claims engine and the claims transform. It's impressive. If you want to know more, there's a separate module about this language later on.